even to grow is to change, right? That's to change the business, to change the trajectory oftentimes. And so it feels if we're requiring that, should we do more as executives to really drive those metrics that help people reach the goals that we want?
I think we should definitely be open to being willing to change them as times change. Yeah, I think often out of our control change, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Etc.
Absolutely.
Really important. Yeah.
I think a lot of boards are focused on this, both in private markets and in public markets, that finding CEOs that are strong in strategy. And again, I think people don't love that word, so maybe there's a different term we can use. But having that ability to be accurate directionally and executionally might be another way I would phrase it, or making the right trade-offs, alluding to something that you said earlier. What do you think that boards should keep in mind when they're looking for a CEO who has strategic thinking or has demonstrated it?
It's so much about how they get information from, like how they ask their questions, right? Maybe this feels pretty basic to some, but maybe it's not happening across the board. I could see how it maybe isn't. The whole like, tell me about a time, like what someone will say to you, I would be so critical. I would examine every word about how it is that they frame the problem. And also identify if the problem people thought was one thing and then it turned out to be another. What is your role in figuring that out? I'd want to know that they owned that shift and then what they did in terms of leading, but also in the trenches. Because oftentimes, I don't really have a threshold, but there's lots of sizes of companies need people who can be both player and coach, right? And your ability to demonstrate that, obviously, hopefully, if you've done your research, you know what they're looking for. They're looking for just a coach, just a player coach. Usually it's player coach in a wide variety of business types. And so I would really listen to the words that they use about how they contributed uniquely with their ability to, again, like lead and execute and reframe if needed, take others with them, like a lot of these sort of corporate swear words about, but it's all pretty true, right? You got to be able to bring people along on a journey of a different kind of way of working, probably. So I would listen to that super clearly. And then also it'd be really interesting to know I think great strategic thinkers are really good at utilizing their teams. And I'd really want to know how they talk about what their team did versus what they did. I'd want to hear them recognize both, but I want them to be pretty clear. Hopefully when a CEO is interviewing with the board, they have their act together and they have these stories down. But I would want to hear those things.